What is up, everybody? My name is Big Cam. Welcome back to another episode of Comically Boston. Today is episode 128, and we have another good one for you. And if you guys haven't been around, first we're going to talk a little bit about my Boston Celtics, a little bit of sports. Then we're going to get into some headlines from last week. We're going to get into some what you watchings, what have I been watching over the last week, and things to look forward to into the next week. And some big news regarding Daredevil Born Again has started filming, and there was a bunch of set photos. So if you don't want to see those, don't stick around till the end of this video. But if you do, stick around. But first, let's get into those Boston Celtics. I saw Jaylen Brown post last week in a conversation on Twitter talking about him and Porzingis, and he comments, "cookies and cream," and I was like, oh, that's a perfect nickname for these two boys. Because one is a dark black Dunkin' fool, and the other one is white cream filling on the inside. You know what I mean? Just, ooh, creamy, smooth, and just, that's Porzingis. Unfortunately, Porzingis came down on somebody's ankle the other night and twisted his ankle and wasn't able to play in Saturday's game versus the Clippers. But he was able to play in Thursday night's game over the Miami Heat, and we pick up big dub, 33-point dub, 143-110 victory over the Miami Heat. Also on Thursday night, the All-Star starters were named, and of course Jason Tatum was named the East All-Stars. We're not doing the voting with the captains this year, so we're just going back to the old format, East versus West, which I like, but I hope they continue to do that 24-point fourth quarter where it's a rush to score 24 points. Because that kind of was interesting. But I don't know, maybe just going back to the old ways will feel good. But congratulations, Jason Tatum. 5th year in a row, he's an All-Star, and I believe 5 All-Star starters for that young man as well. He's probably been in the league, what, 6, 7 years? Maybe 6, maybe 7. But 5 All-Stars as that young a player? I mean, shit, he's only like 25. So he's been an All-Star since he was 20, and many, many seasons to go, so shout out to him. Unfortunately, though, like I said, Porzingis twisted his ankle against the Heat, and I don't know, a lot of people have been saying those Heat players are trying to injure the other team, and it doesn't look good for them, because it happened again the night after, whatever team they face after us, and I don't know, man. I don't like the Miami Heat, but when they're hurting players, that's not cool, man. But we faced the Clippers Saturday night, no Porzingis, and it just wasn't falling our way. We were down big most of the game. I don't think the starters played the fourth quarter, but they ended up getting us closer than 30-point loss. We ended up losing by 19, 115-96 loss in the Garden, which is just no good. Don't like that. But hopefully we can get it back tonight. We face Zion and the Pelicans at home tonight, 7:30, so stay tuned for that, and we'll talk about that one in the next time. Some headlines, some new posters that dropped. Dune Part 2 tickets are starting to go on sale on AMC.com and shit like that. I am going to grab my IMAX tickets ASAP. I am so excited for this one. Dune Part 1 was amazing. I didn't get to see it in theaters. I was so pissed at myself for not seeing it in theaters. So this one, for sure, I am going to see in theaters at least once, maybe even a couple times. But I am so excited about this one. Timothée Chalamet says his favorite project he's ever worked on is Dune Part 2. So, you know, I'm just crazy. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be nutty. The visuals were insane in the first one, so I'm just super looking forward to what's going on next. Zendaya's character with him, Timothée Chalamet's Paul. It's going to be nuts. But some other images, some other posters. You see on the left, you see the Bald Men's Coalition between Austin Butler, Dave Bautista, and Stellan Skarsgård. They're the Barons, and then you got the Sand People. Josh Brolin's going to be back. Florence Pugh, I can't wait to see her ass. Rebecca Ferguson and Timothée Chalamet now have the blue eyes like Chani and the Sand People. Oof. Oh, look at this. The army of the war going on in the ground. And there's an ornithopter up top there. But there's 1, 2, 3. We only ever saw one worm in the first one. Or maybe we saw 2. But we definitely didn't see them out. We only saw 1 out in this right here. It seems like there's 3 of them coming in to fight this war with us. And I am so hyped. I am so hyped for this one. This is going to be insane to see on a big screen like that. But really, I'm a sucker for a love story. So whatever happens between Florence Pugh, Timothée Chalamet, and Zendaya's character, I am here for. But speaking of gorgeous women, the Supergirl casting has apparently been narrowed down to 2 actresses. One from House of the Dragon, Millie Alcock, for Supergirl, or the other one is Meg Donnelly. I don't know her work as well, but they're both beautiful blondes. I do like Millie myself, but I honestly think that neither of these 2 girls would make the best Supergirl. I don't know. I think someone else would be a better casting. I really was enjoying Sasha Calle's, mostly just because I find her gorgeous. Don't necessarily love what The Flash did, but, you know. But I heard that the Supergirl story that they're adapting from the comics for the new James Gunn DC universe is going to be insane. So, to whichever actress gets that, you know, work out, do your damnness, because it's going to be a hell of a ride. But moving on to some more gorgeous women. Next week, Madam Web drops. We got a new poster for that. This one looks strange. We got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eyeballs, a spider, somebody falling into like a circle. I don't know, but it doesn't look the worst. The more trailers I've seen, I'm like, yeah, it looks pretty good. The little snippet I saw from Sydney Sweeney the other day with her, Julia Carpenter, swinging, hanging upside down, it seems like she understood the assignment, and I'm excited to see at least her fine ass in a Spider-Man suit and be a superhero. That seems cool, but, you know, between the other women in the cast, I'm like, you know, optimistic. I'm like, maybe this will be good, maybe it won't. You know, it's still Sony, so I'm still nervous. But, you know, Sydney Sweeney, Isabella Merced, you know, it could be worse. But, you know, I'm still interested to see what's going to be happening. But I'm going into that one pretty much, you know, on the same kind of terms as, like, Morbius. You know what I mean? Like, whatever else Sony has done. I don't know. Maybe this year will be better for Sony. The next piece of news, the little poster that we saw recently after Zac Efron's done, you know, Bundy, he's done Iron Claw, he's done that more recently. He's back to doing more of like stuff like The Neighbors, you know, a rated R comedy with Zac Efron and John Cena called Ricky Stenicki. And I don't know if Ricky Stenicki is John Cena's character, but John Cena's wearing a skirt and high heels and a blonde wig with pigtails. But that's going to be dropping March 7th on Amazon Prime, so yeah, I bet that's going to be hilarious. Some other news. We just got a new look at Captain America, Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie. Right, he got that new suit in the finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then now, on the back of an Amazon package, it said, coming soon, Captain America, Brave New World. And it's got him with a blue suit. So is this his new suit that he'll be getting? I honestly don't think it is, because I remember back when they were filming this, set photos were released, and then he was in a blue suit with gold outlines. So I don't know if this is quite the suit he's going to get. Maybe it's the suit he starts in or something like that. But either way, I really liked the white suit from Falcon and Winter Soldier the best. So I don't know. But I'm still, you know, excited to see Sam Wilson back. The other day, Deadpool 3 wrapped filming, officially wrapped. I was talking about set photos, and then as soon as I finished podcasting, it got released that they wrapped. So I was like, oh, son of a bitch. But I'll talk about it now. Ryan Reynolds released a picture of his junk. You know, like, doesn't show the rest of the picture, just the bottom half of Deadpool, and there's like blood all over his red suit. And he released with this caption, "The suit hides the blood, also sweat, but today, with Deadpool rapping, it's mostly tears. A giant and forever thanks to the cast and crew of our film who battled wind, rain, strikes, and Hugh Jackman, ... all under the stalwart leadership of Sean Levy. I got to make a movie with my closest pals, and that doesn't happen very often. See ya in July." Ooh, July 26th. Deadpool 3 drops, so that I'm so excited for that. Just to see Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman back is going to be insane. The whole movie sounds insane. I can't believe it's coming out in July. That's gonna be here before we know it. And Super Bowl, probably a week, you know, probably around the same time Madam Web drops. We're gonna be getting a trailer for this probably at the Super Bowl, so I can't wait to see that. You know, whatever that entails. A little bit of, before I get into what I've been watching, a little bit of what I've been playing. I just finished, what did I finish recently? or I'm almost finished with The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. I also never finished God of War Ragnarok. I was replaying that. But there's a new game coming out, The Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. I mean, it doesn't look that great, but from the recent gameplay I've been seeing, it looks interesting. So I'm still like, alright, fuck it, I have to get it. So that drops tomorrow, so I'll let you guys know next week what I think of that game, if it was worth it or not. The last DC game I played was Gotham Knights, and that game was awful. You know, it seemed like it was going to be better than it was, but it just wasn't finished, and you could, like, tell playing the game. Like, you'd walk up to something, and it'd say interact, and then you'd go to interact, and it'd be like, something that they're supposed to say, and you're like, wait, that just, like, say, like, a prompt instead of saying, like, the prompt that it was supposed to say. It would just say like random shit, and it was awful. I hated it. So hopefully this game is closer to finished. I'm pretty sure it got pushed back a couple of times, so hopefully now it's ready to go. Although I did hear it had a bug literally first day of dropping, so they're already trying to fix bugs in it. So, you know, that is what it is. But I've been playing The Last of Us 2 Remastered, and it looks phenomenal on the PS5. I thought it looked phenomenal on the PS4, but replaying it meant for the PS5 is so good. I have yet to play the remastered no return content, just because I could have imported my save stuff from the last game, but I was like, fuck it. I'll just replay the game now. And it's so much harder the first time around because you actually have to go collect supplies. When you play it the second time around, you can turn on the gameplay modifiers, so you can, you know, have one-shot kill, you can have unlimited ammo, unlimited crafting, unlimited damage on your melee weapon, so like you don't swing and then the thing breaks and then you have to go find another melee. You know, like the way I'm playing it right now is harder than the second, third time around. So I'm glad I did it at least one more time. You know, I did it obviously the one time I had originally played the game, but I'm glad I'm doing it now, so it will make me at least maybe play the game the second time around. But The Last of Us Part 2 is great, but The Last of Us show is now in Canada, about to start filming season 2 of The Last of Us, and I'm super excited for that. Here's a black and white photo that they posted with Craig Mazin, one of the writers, directors, but you can see right in the middle of there, Ellie, Isabella Merced playing Dina, and then right above them, young Mazzino playing Jesse. 3 great characters from the game. Here's a picture of the characters from the game with Jesse, Dina, and Ellie, which I love the 3 of them from the game, but here's a zoomed in picture of the 3 of them in real life. They're actually pretty damn spot on. But as I've been going through The Last of Us Part 2 and playing the game, I'm starting to realize that, damn, like I hated Abby originally, but like Abby's just like Joel. You know what I mean? Like Joel was hell-bent on revenge, but all he ever wanted was to save Ellie in the end. And, you know, Abby obviously got hell-bent revenge on Joel, but once she got it, she was still kind of messed up. And then finally she got her life saved by Lev, and she just, like, all she's doing now is just, you know, caring about him. So the same way Joel was carrying Ellie, she's carrying Lev. Like, I'm like, damn, there's a bigger comparison here than I thought. But just, like, the way the game looks, you know, when Ellie's in the rain and she's on the boat and she's trying to, like, find Abby at the aquarium. But Ellie's a beast. Joel is a beast. I'm not going to spoil what happens to Joel in the second game. If you don't know, stick around for part 2 of that season. You're going to be in for a huge surprise. But if you do know, oof, tough look for the part 2 game. And considering the first game, you spend 90% of the game playing as Joel. So once you get into the second game, you're like, what the fuck happened to Joel? Like, fucking... But, you know, it's insane. I can't wait to, you know, finish the game so I can unlock the new skins, gameplay modifiers, new outfits that Ellie has. She apparently has a space girl outfit, space woman, NASA. She always wanted to be a spaceman. So she gets her spacesuit, but she's in the water here. But I am almost to the end here. I just finished the part with Abby going to save Leb, and they lose Yara, and Ellie is about to, you know, they've time jumped again, so Ellie is now covered in blood, you know. I'm about to get to this part here where she's covered in blood, she's out in the sands, she's looking at that fucking mansion or whatever, domed building. she's about to find what happened to Abby. And like, oh man, the ending of this game is so controversial. Like, I thought the first one was controversial, but the second one even more. And you know, Ellie's stuck here with the nub of a finger, you know. Like, it's wild, man. It's a wild ending. And then shit, they just like leave her, you know, sitting in the water, in the shallow water with the fog. And then like, this is exactly how the game starts. Like, every time you open up the game, it says press a button to start. It's just a boat floating in this water in the fog. So you're like, the whole game, you're like, what does this boat in the fog mean? And then finally you get to this part and you're like, oh my god, the boat in the fog. Like, just, it hits so heavy. Like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, like how heavy it hits. But that show and game is amazing. I'll let you know what happens when I finish it and when I try the remastered content. But as far as what I've been watching recently, I did get to start The Bear recently. I watched the first 2 episodes. First episode, System, and the second episode, Hands. Hands! Hands! Somebody, please, hands! Thank you, chef! Yes, chef! You know, like, and if you've ever worked in a restaurant, you know, I didn't work in a high-end restaurant where we're fucking, yes, chef! Yes, chef! Thank you, chef! But I did work in a restaurant where we're like, corner, you know, behind, walking out, you know, like yelling shit so we don't hit into each other and drop plates and shit like that. So it's a super fun show. I'm super curious to see why it's been winning so many awards. But so far through 2 episodes, it's been great. But up next for me for The Bear is episode 3, Brigade. But I've also been watching Daredevil, the original Netflix series. So far, I had said I watched the first 2 episodes last podcast, so now I'm up to episode 6. I watched 3, 4, 5, 3, Rabbit in a Snowstorm, 4, In the Blood, and 5, World on Fire. Next up for that is episode 6, Condemned, of season 1. Daredevil Born Again is going to be insane. I'm so glad that there's been little leaks and they're now filming in New York. They had started filming before the strikes without some people, and now after the strikes it is confirmed that some people are back. So I'm happy enough to say that, of course, Charlie Cox's Daredevil is back, Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin is back. We haven't seen him yet, but it has been confirmed that John Bernthal's Punisher will be back. He was a great Punisher, so I'm super cool with that. I thought they could have moved on from this guy, but Wilson Bethel, Bullseye, he's going to be back, so hopefully he gets, you know, the scar on the forehead, kind of like Colin Farrell's Bullseye. I always loved him, so, you know, maybe they'll go that route. Maybe they'll go more comic book accurate, you know, with him being back. But also, Foggy and Karen Page and Foggy Nelson are going to be back. Deborah Ann Wolfe and Eldon Henson going to be back from the Daredevil series. So Daredevil Born Again has some faces in it now. And this guy that played Bullseye in the first, you know, show, in the first, I think, season 3 of Daredevil, he stole Daredevil's suit and he's wearing it around. I kind of hated that, you know. I was like, why did they steal his suit? Just so Charlie could get back into the black, with the black mask over his face, you know, the original black suit. I don't know, but I'm hoping that Wilson here gets a comic book accurate black Bullseye suit with the arrow, the spot on the forehead. I'm hoping that's the route we go. Technically, at the end of that series, I think he's getting spine surgery or something like that because Wilson Fisk broke his spine. But originally, they hadn't brought back Foggy and Karen, so it was just like Matt back. We're like, what the fuck? What happened to Nelson and Murdoch? Like, he's Nelson, he's Murdoch, and then Karen was their like assistant, unpaid intern at first, and then they paid her, and then she like just became closer and closer with them. I believe Matt and her were dating at a point, then they weren't. But at the end of that series, we see Foggy write on a little napkin, Nelson Murdoch and Page, attorneys at law. And we now see that there is a sign in New York that says Nelson Murdoch and Page, attorneys at law. I'm super excited for them. Like, just the fact that they're back and like they have an office and they're filming in New York, like, this is so cool. Like, it's gonna be so much fun to, like, I love the 3 of them so much in the first series, so to see them back in Born Again is gonna be awesome. Here's a look at Charlie on the street filming with the glasses down. It's just funny to see a blind man, like, what's that over there? Not blind man, because Charlie Cox obviously isn't blind, but Matt Murdock is. He's holding a walking stick and he's like, just like, what's that over there? I thought that image was funny the first time I seen it. There's an image here of Karen Page standing out front of Nelson and Murdoch. Eldon Henson now is repping a beard and a new haircut. I did like him with the long hair, but short hair don't care. The three of them were shooting, walking down the street. I'm really curious on what's going to happen with them. You know, are they going to blip, and then we're going to see Matt through the blip, and then we're going to catch up to now? Like, what happened to the three of them? You know what I mean? Because what happened to him that he ended up with She-Hulk out in California? No, so like, I wonder if She-Hulk, Karen, maybe even Rosario Dawson's Claire, maybe even Elektra in the show, not Jennifer Gardner, but the one that they had in the Daredevil show. The four of them were all like lovers and dating Matt at a certain point. So like, are those four girls gonna beef, and is She-Hulk gonna beat their ass because like she's She-Hulk? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm certainly interested. Maybe She-Hulk will get mad at Matt, beat up Matt because she's like, you're cheating on me, and he's like, I'm not. I'm just a ladies' man, I promise. But who knows what's gonna happen there? But there has also been reports that there was white tiger sightings in New York where they're shooting. We don't know who's gonna be playing her yet. I wonder if like a Jenna Ortega or something will play her. That would be cool. But apparently the main villain, or one of the main villains, because obviously Fisk is probably going to be up there, but is this character from the comics named Muse. Now, I don't know a lot about this character, and that's exciting for me. Obviously, I haven't read the most comics, especially Daredevil ones, but I've been wanting to read some Frank Miller ones for a long time. But Muse here with the bloody like hands, with the blood on the chest, with like the blood running from the eyes. I don't know if it's blood or paint, whatever. Because we do see him spray painting over Fisk in the comics. And then this is a shot in New York currently with Kingpin, and it's like a crack down the middle, and it's white Kingpin on this one side, and it's a black Kingpin on fire on the other side. I don't know what that's about, but there was a shot of a dude kind of dressed like Muse from the back, spray painting around it, and you're like, damn, a lot of this is getting leaked, like, just because they're filming in New York, and there's people walking in New York like, yo, what the fuck, you see this shit? That's Daredevil, you know, like, but I wonder what suit Matt is going to wear. I really want him to get the black suit that he had in the comics, maybe, I know he got the yellow one in She-Hulk, but I would like the yellow one to look a lot more like this yellow one from the comics. I just thought that yellow one looked cool, but if we're going back to the regular, maybe they go back to like a regular traditional darker red, or maybe they go brighter red like an Echo. But here's an image of this bright red suit next to a white tiger. So maybe they team up, they fight Muse, or they team up, fight Punisher, or something like that. But team up, fight Kingpin, who knows? But to finish out today's show, I'll talk about episode 8 of Raising Kanan, Reckoning. The FBI is closing in on Marvin. Brother Lou Thomas is drunk as a skunk. He's, you know, out front of Rock's house drunk, and Rock like puts him to bed inside Kanan's room and tells the mom to watch him. Mom does a terrible job, so Lou's out there again. He's drunk as a skunk, pissing on the side of a building. Two guys try and rob him. He pulls out a gun. He's like, come on, motherfucker, what happened? He's like just shooting randomly. Like, shit had me dying. He's like drunk, and he's like, what? And then he falls over. He's like, pussies couldn't even rob me right. Like, it was hilarious. But we're starting to see Jukebox fucking taking a turn, you know? Like, we're starting to see how the darker side of Jukebox is coming around. And, you know, obviously Kanan and Ronnie been linking up and working together. They're still partners. But Kanan is a smart motherfucker when it comes to these streets. Even as a young kid, you know, he's been around the game for his whole life. He's probably just been absorbing it, you know, and his mom is the game. So, like, maybe it's born in him. But Kanan made a mistake here because he's hooking up with Crystal. And Crystal's fine ass is causing problems in the group, and Juke got the lead, but Crystal sent fucking goons after Jukebox. Sent 2 girls after Jukebox. Jukebox kicked their ass and still made it to fucking dance class, but she turns around and looks at fucking Crystal like, yeah, your girls didn't do a good job. Yeah, you better watch out next, motherfucker. And, ooh. But once again, I like to read these parts. 50 Cent's monologue at the end of every Raising Kanan episode is by far my favorite part. 50 Cent goes, revenge ain't about business. Revenge don't move work. Don't get paid. Ain't no good reason for it, except that it feels right. Feels good. And that shit's reason enough for me. And then it cuts to the credits. Ooh, as Rock is putting down Ronnie's girl, the bodega lady, right? So the girl that's been getting Ronnie work and been moving Kanan's work, right? So now Rock's back in the game moving work, and her competition is her son. So she can't just take out her son because that's competition. So she got to take out Kanan's supply. So she's sending the CPS agent after him. Kanan put Ronnie on the CPS agent, so it's like these final 2 episodes are going to be nuts. So comment below, have you been watching Raising Kanan? What do you think about all the news I talked about today? Deadpool 3 wrapping, Daredevil Born Again, set photos released. I'm so excited about that. And The Last of Us Part 2, amazing, of course. But comment below, what do you think of all these? Will you be going to see Madam Web February 14th? Will you be going to see John Cena and Zac Efron's new movie in March? Will you be going to see Dune Part 2 March 1st? Have you already got your tickets? I know I have. And will you be watching the Celtics game tonight versus the Pelicans? And that's another Comically Boston. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Comment below. My links for my other social medias are in the description below. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe. Hit that bell if you don't want to miss future Comically Bostons. You can email me, comicallyboston@gmail.com. If you have any insights or thoughts or anything you want to send me over there. My email, also link in the description below. And I will see you beautiful folks in the next video. Peace.